Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the 44th lecture from Unit 5 of Industrial Management and Smart Technology subject. Today in this session, the topic to be dealt is Introduction to the Work Hazards, Types of Hazards, Ergonomic Styles of Hazards, 5S Principles, Introduction to the Domino Sequence. So these are the topics that we will discuss today in this session. Yes. So initially, in any organization or firm or a factory or a business place, first thing to be maintained is safety in the workplace. Next, we have to see what are the hurdles, what are the problems, what are the hazards for the worker safety. In that, we are dealing with the workplace hazards. Means the employee where he is working. It may be in the office, it may be in the factory, or it may be on the open place, right? It may be anywhere on the offshore or onshore, whatever it is there. We have to check the workplace safety and hazards. Coming to the hazards, a workplace hazard means it is any condition or a practice or a behavior or a combination of both that can cause injury or illness to a person or damage to the property. So in the workplace hazards, so it is saying that whatever the combination, it may be the condition of the workplace or regular practice of the person or behavior of the machinery or behavior of the people, whatever the combination it is, the cause of injury or illness, cause of injury or illness to a person or a damage to the machinery or property, all this together comes under the workplace hazards. Okay. Next, if you see here, the figure shows that what is this one? Anyone can say it is a spike. In the spike, we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 sockets, and you are having 7, 8, 9, 10. So finally, for a simple socket extension box, we are having these many types of connections. So it is a health, it is a hazard, it is a problem. And what is this symbol shows? The symbol shows that we should not fire at this workplace. So these are the symbols where you can see everywhere on the road as a traffic signal concepts or in the industry as a warning signs. So no smoking, wear shoes, it is wet. Here highly flammable. So do not lit anything. So like this you can see this type of symbols with the figures. Next, what are the types of hazards in a factory or an organization? The first hazard is physical hazards. The physical hazards means it includes the machines. The physical hazards include unsafe machines and environmental condition. It includes unsafe machines means the machines which are running in improper condition. సో ఇక్కడ మెషిన్స్ వర్క్ చేస్తాయి కానీ సరిగ్గా వర్క్ చేయవు. దట్ ఈస్ అన్సేఫ్ మెషిన్స్. అండ్ కొంతమంది ఏం చెప్తారు, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇన్ యువర్ హౌస్ అది షాక్ కొడుతుంది కానీ జాగ్రత్తగా వాడు, రైట్? లైక్ దట్ ఇన్ అ ఫ్యాక్టరీ ఆల్సో సమ్ మెషిన్స్ విల్ బి అన్సేఫ్ కండిషన్స్ అండ్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్ కండిషన్. ద ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ ఆర్ unguarded machine parts like saw blades. అంటే saw blades అంటే రంపం. అన్గార్డెడ్ అంటే పైన దానికి కవర్ లేకుండా ఓపెన్గా బేర్గా ఉన్న saw blades. Constant noise, prolonged exposure to the sun or cold. So these are some of the physical hazards for a person in order to check the health hazards. Next one is a biological hazard. So in the biological hazards are produced by living things. ఈ biological hazards ఎలా వస్తాయి? These are the hazards which are produced by the living things. They often comes from working with the animals and people. For example, the pets at your home, the pets at the office, the pets at the industrial area. For example, if you see the pigeons, పావురాలు ఉంటాయి కదా పెద్ద పెద్ద ఫ్యాక్టరీస్లో షెడ్స్లో, రైట్, అట్ సమ్ ప్లేసెస్ దిస్ pigeons will come and halt, మీన్స్ అక్కడ అవి వసతి ఏర్పరచుకుంటాయి. సో అట్ దట్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్ the pigeons waste, the pigeons matter from the top, it is falling down. So continuously if it is doing so, we'll get some sort of biological diseases. It is some sort of fungus, some sort of virus, some sort of bacteria, and bird droppings ante away, and the blood changes, the virus problems, the bacteria, fungus all together comes from the animals and birds. Next, third hazard is a chemical hazard. It includes the materials that are flammable. So chemicals ante which are highly flammable, which includes the materials like flammable materials and explosive materials or poisonous materials. Examples of this include the pesticides and gasoline. Pesticides and gasoline. These are the chemical hazards. Next one is ergonomic hazards. These are caused by poorly designed workplaces. These are caused by the poorly designed workplaces. Poorly designed workplaces ante enti? For example, if you visit any some shopping, some any general store or any some shop outside, some places will be very dull in nature. No proper lighting, no proper ventilation. It will be dull appearance. If you see some sort of bazaar, so your shops or something, you can see very bright, right? At some houses also you can see dull atmosphere. At some places you can see very bright atmosphere. This says here the ergonomic hazards caused by the poorly designed workplaces or processes. Means poorly designed process means if you see the old type of interior setting and a new type of interior setting, according to the technology you have to change accordingly. If you are not changing accordingly, automatically it will become a poor design which is not adaptable at this generation. Examples are poor lighting, poor workstations where you are working that are too very high or low for your job, that requires you to repeat the same movement over and over. These are the ergonomic hazards. All right, next, coming to the physical hazards. For coming to the physical hazards, so taking the first point is the noise. Where does the noise come? The noise come from machine to machine running, motor running, from the physical human beings, etc. Okay, the noise is unwanted sound which is manageable. Okay, it is unwanted sound that can interfere with communications in the workplace, right? So in the workplace, the big workplace in the factory area, the noise is unwanted sound. వద్దు అన్నా కూడా మనకి నాయిస్ అనేది కంపల్సరీ ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ విల్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ మీన్స్ దట్ విల్ గివ్ ద ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ కనెక్షన్ బిట్వీన్ మెషిన్ టు మెషిన్. ఇప్పుడు మనుషులు మాట్లాడుకున్నారనుకోండి, సో దే విల్ టాక్, then how the machines will talk. For example, if you are working in one department in the same floor, your friend is working in the other department on the same floor at other corner. So when the machine is running, if when your friend's machine is running, the sound will become more. So where you are working, if you listen the sound, you can think that okay, your friend is working on the machine, right? By this we can communicate machine to machine, అంటే మెషిన్స్ టు మెషిన్ ఇలా ఈ విధంగా, అంటే అది ఎక్కడెక్కడో సౌండ్ వస్తుందంటే దాని అర్థం ఏంటి, ఓకే అక్కడ వర్క్ జరుగుతుంది, మెషిన్ రన్ అవుతుంది. లైక్ దట్ యూ కెన్ కమ్యూనికేట్. వర్క్ ప్లేస్ లీడింగ్ టు ద పాసిబుల్ ఇంజరీస్. excessive noise levels excessive noise levels or prolonged noise can damage the nerves in the ear. So whatever the levels, the sound you are listening in the factories or other areas, so the noise should be of manageably maintained. Means you have to maintain proper things. Excessive noise levels or prolonged noise can damage the nerves in the ear. హియరింగ్ లాస్ మే బి టెంపరరీ ఆర్ పర్మనెంట్. సో ఆ సౌండ్స్ దగ్గర ఎప్పుడు పనిచేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతుంది, అట్ అ సర్టన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైం యువర్ ఇయర్స్ విల్ బికమ్ టెంపరరీ డ్యామేజ్డ్ ఆర్ పర్మనెంట్లీ డ్యామేజ్డ్. వాట్ ఆర్ ద సైడ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ కమింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ నాయిస్? హియరింగ్ లాస్. హియరింగ్ లాస్ అంటే ఏంటి? మనకి చెవుడు రావడం. రింగింగ్ ఇన్ ద ఇయర్స్. రింగింగ్ ఇన్ ద ఇయర్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? వర్క్ ప్లేస్లో మీరు ఎప్పుడు వర్క్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు అది సౌండ్ మీకు అనేది ఇంకా ప్రతి చోట అప్పుడప్పుడు రింగ్ అవుతూ దుమ్ముగా సౌండ్ వస్తుంది. దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ రింగింగ్ ఇన్ ద ఇయర్స్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ డిఫికల్టీ ఇన్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ వాట్ పీపుల్ సే. సో పక్కన అవతల మనుషులు ఏం చెప్తున్నారో మీకు వినడం చాలా ఇబ్బంది అవుతుంది, రైట్? నెక్స్ట్ స్లీప్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్. సో మనకి నిద్ర అనేది అంత త్వరగా పట్టదు. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ దిస్ fatigue and so fatigue means on doing the same work repeated many times, automatically the person will get fatigue. Person will get fatigue. And a muscle tension. Muscle tension means muscle spasms. Means whenever you are working whenever you are working at a new place or repetitively working for medium to long hours, automatically your muscle will get spasms, right? The muscle tension will appear. These are the physical hazards when you are working at any workplace as a employee. Next, electricity. Frayed electric cords, missing ground pins, improper wiring and live technique parts can be useful. So frayed electric cords, missing ground pins, improper wiring and live electrical parts can result in electrical shock. Can result in the shock and death from the electrocution. Shock కొట్టి చనిపోవడం. Burns to skins and organs. చనిపోకుండా జస్ట్ షాక్ కొట్టగానే కాలిపోవడం, skins and organs. So these are also the physical hazard. So whenever you are not properly maintaining your electrical cords and the ground pins, improper wiring at all the electrical parts, what happens? Result in the electric shock, electrocution. Third one is electric. Third one is a burns to skins and organs. So it should be properly placed and maintained. Next, third one. Biological hazards. What is the biological hazards? Bacteria. So in the bacteria which is found in the air, in the water, in the soil. So wherever not, bacteria will be found at every place on the earth. And the living or dead animals or the plants. So the bacteria will be on the living animals or living human beings or dead animal or dead human beings. So first biological factor is bacteria material. Second one is viruses. So these are also the microorganisms that produce by coming into contact with the living cells. So this will contact in producing by living by converting with reproducing by coming in contact with the living cells. They are found only in living animal and planet matter. Okay, next one is fungus. So these are the simple plants that feed on the living or dead tissues. So fungus and event fungus is nothing but a simple small plants which we can see on the surface of the water or on the living or dead tissues of animals or plants. That once will be it will be uh, covered. It will become a hard layer depending upon the usage. Right. Next, the molds, mushrooms, and yeast are the examples of fungi. So the other microorganisms like mushrooms, yeast, mold, these are the examples of the fungus material. So these are the some of the biological hazards which we are using for this health hazards. Next, slips, trips, and falls. So in a factory, in an organization, in a firm, in whatever it is. So what is the first thing you have to maintain? You have to maintain what is there in front of you. Okay, so you may become slip, you may become trips, or you may fall. సో ఇవన్నీ ఎప్పుడు జరుగుతుంది? అజాగ్రత్తగా ఉన్నప్పుడు జరుగుతుంది. మనం అజాగ్రత్తగా ఉన్నప్పుడు జరుగుతుంది. సెకండ్ థింగ్ ఈజ్ మెషినరీస్ సరిగ్గా కండిషన్ లేనప్పుడు జరిగే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి. సి హియర్ ద స్లిప్, అంటే ఇక్కడ కింద వాటర్ ఉంది చూసుకోలేదు, స్లిప్ అయ్యాడు, కింద పడ్డాడు. దెన్ హూస్ ద మిస్టేక్ హియర్? ద పర్సన్స్ మిస్టేక్ ఆర్ ద పర్సన్ హూ poured the water? That depends upon the outside condition, right? Next, trips means it will become upside down. The person will become trip and will be fall down and falls. These are some of the illustrations showed for your understanding. Falls from even minor heights can result in critical injuries or death. అంతే కదా? సో చిన్న పామునైనా పెద్దగా కొట్టాలన్నట్టు మీరు చిన్న చిన్న మైనర్ ఇంజరీస్ కూడా హైట్స్ నుంచి, చిన్న హైట్స్ నుంచి పడినా కూడా, సో రేపు ఫ్యూచర్లో హాస్పిటల్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ ఏ బిగ్ ప్రాబ్లం. నెక్స్ట్, బ్రోకెన్ బోన్స్. సో whenever you are fallen or got an accident with the body, automatically the metal will get wound. So at that point of time, so you have to go for this broken concepts. Next, muscle strains and even death. So because of the slips, trips and falls, so this may happen. So keeping an eye on for what tripping hazards, so before they floor you, so you have to get a help from others, right? So that depends purely upon first factor is by human beings or second factor is by machineries. Okay, next, ergonomic hazards. Next topic is ergonomic hazard. So what is the meaning of ergonomics? Ergonomics is the study of science and technology where it is mainly focused on the inbuilt or data which is suitably matching to the human beings. Okay, the goal of ergonomics is to improve the between. Fit means just join, not fixing, just joining, just fixing. The goal of ergonomics is to improve the fit between the worker and the workplace activities. So worker ki workplace activity ki a proper fit ఎప్పుడైతే కుదురుతుందో, that is nothing but ergonomics concept, right? This is accomplished by improving the step of workstations, improving the goals and equipment, and improving the step up setup workstations, improving the tools and equipment used to perform the work task, and adapting the way the work be done. So what's happening here? So the ergonomic needs, the person who is buying has to mainly focus on the two factors. Okay, first is the fit between the worker and the workplace activities. Next, it is accomplished by improving the setup workstations, improving tools and equipments used to perform the stations. Okay, now see the figures here. So why the laptop is turned like this? So instead of the laptop is in this direction. So initially 10 years, 12 years back, you have to brought this back, right? So how the ergonomics is designed, which is very comfortable for the person. Next ergonomic design is sitting on a computer table. See here, what is the eye height to the monitor height, right? Next, shoulder, what is the height? Next, 6 feet, what is the height? Next one is, see here, ergonomic helps to adapt jobs to the people with perform them. So see here, the person is sitting here and he is having everything related to his lifestyle. So he's having a food, he's having, he kept a water, he kept legs on the in the wash, he is having a coffee, the coffee is emptied. You can see this keyboard. So the person who is sitting here, he kept all the things which is very important things to his nearby, maintaining the system, right? This is simply the ergonomic design. Okay, next. Next, coming to the safe lifting of any objects. Safe lifting of any object. So for lifting any object, one should be balanced. So for every cycle, everything, it should be balanced stance, but your feet, shoulder should appear, should match it. For example, if you are if you are taking any big load, it should be balanced in condition. Put your feet, shoulder under width apart. Next one. Get close to the object and squat down to pick up the load. So what the second part is saying, get closer to the object means move close to the object and squat down అంటే వంగి అంటే భర్త మా బాస్పెట్లు వేసుకున్నట్టుగా just make a squat down, just వంగండి and pick the load. Third one is get a secure grip and carry the load close to your body. Once you hold the object, it should be secured in your hands. It should be secured in your hands and fix the secure grip and the load close your body. Next, test the issue loading. Next, test the weight of the load before trying it to lift it. So what we have to do, you have to go for the inspection or testing process of the load before it is trying to shift it to your place. Next one is lift the load gradually. Don't be in a hurry of lifting the load. Lift the load gradually and smoothly. Okay, smoothly, keeping your back and neck straight. So whenever you are doing any process, so you have to maintain your body posture accordingly. Otherwise, your neck and the spinal cord will get problem. Next, turn your whole body when carrying a load. Right? Next, turn your whole body when carrying to the load. Next, instead of twisting your back, so just standing with your standing, and whenever you are looking back without changing your feet automatically, this also will get a problem. So turn the body whole అంటే ఒకేసారి తిరిగినప్పుడు వెనక్కి ఓన్లీ బాడీ కాకుండా మొత్తం కాలుతో సహా తిప్పాలి, రైట్? సో దేర్ బై వాట్ హ్యాపెన్స్, the twisting your back will be reduced. Follow these instructions in a reverse when lowering your load. సో ఇది ఎక్కించుకునేటప్పుడు ఈ ప్రాసెస్, దించుకునేటప్పుడు రివర్స్ ప్రాసెస్ ఫాలో అవ్వండి. నెక్స్ట్, డు నాట్ వర్క్ అంటిల్ యూ బికమ్ సోర్ ఆర్ టయర్డ్. రిపోర్ట్ రిపోర్ట్ ఎనీ డిస్కంఫర్ట్ టు యువర్ సూపర్వైజర్. మీకు ఏమన్నా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వచ్చినా, ఎఫెక్ట్స్ వచ్చినా డైరెక్ట్లీ డీల్ విత్ యువర్ సూపర్వైజర్. నెక్స్ట్, వాట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ సేయింగ్, డు నాట్ వర్క్ అంటిల్ యూ బికమ్ సోర్ అంటే నువ్వు వర్క్ చేసి స్టార్ట్ చేసి ఒక 2 ఇయర్స్కి మీరు అలసిపోయారు. అలసిపోతున్నా కూడా 4 ఇయర్స్ 3 ఇయర్స్ అలసిపోతున్నా కూడా వాట్ ఎవర్ ద వర్క్ యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్, we should not do the work, stop the work and get relaxed and again start the work. Next, now see some of the safe lifting processes in the illustrations. See here, the person is taking the load and lifting in this direction, lifting in this direction. Next, he is making the load on his knees. So in knees మీద బరువు పెడుతూ this person is lifting the box. Later slowly it is lifting and he carried the box like this. Next, in case of injury at the workplace, what happens if there is any injury in the workplace? First thing, can give first aid immediately if needed. and next sent to the hospital. Next, second one, workers. Tell your employer about the injury. So, me by boss employer ki tell clearly what happens during the process and how the injury occurred. Next, employer what will do? Employer will arrange and pay for transportation to get medical care if needed. So, at that point of time, taking a sudden decisions, so the employer has to take the person to the hospital, and it should can be done, right? Next point, employer report injury to WSB with three, that is not there, healthcare treatment, or next one is health and treatment or time always from the work and long. Yes. Next one is employer put workers wages for a day of injury. సో ఎప్పుడైనా వర్కర్స్కి ఇంజరీ జరిగినప్పుడు ఆ రోజు నుంచి రికవర్ అయ్యేంత వరకు ప్లేస్ ద వేజెస్ శాలరీస్ వాళ్ళకి ఇస్తూ ఉండండి. దట్ ఇస్ ద ఫోర్త్ పాయింట్, రైట్? సో now if you see the figure here, what he is doing, always lift safely. So whenever you are lifting safely at this cartoon figure, safety at this figure, this person is having some stress or fatigue in lifting the super heavy metals. So whenever you are lifting such a kind of huge material or boxes, what you have to do? You have to bend like this. You have to bend and you have to remove upwards. Next. Next one. Next topic is 5S principles. And the 5 safety principles. Importance of safety at workplaces. Importance of safety at workplaces. So what are the 5 S in the worker safety? So the 5 S concept has been derived from the Japanese word. So in the Japan, so the concept of 5 S has been implemented slowly because of the processes. This type of things also we cannot do it. Next one. The 5S is the principles of work environment. Improvement derived from the Japanese word. Okay, the 5S's have been derived from the Japanese word. First one is a seiri. First one is a seiri. Second one is a seiton. Seiri, seiton, sisu, and siketsu, and shitsuke. Okay, these are the 5 names of a person which they lived in Japan. So on the Japanese word, we can say it is a seiri, selton, iso. Next, in a Japanese word, we are calling them as a seiri, seiton, sisu, siketsu, and shitkuse. In English, the 5 S were responsibly called as sort, వెతకడం, set, shine, setting means సమకూర్చడం, shine means every time, every day it will be looking fresh, standardized, maintaining standardized tools and etc. And sustain. So majority of the things we should be sustained. Okay. So if you see here, see this figure. In this figure, the self means sorting. Selton means setting. Sisu means shining. Siketsu standard means same the standards, whatever the it is specified. Next, Shitkusuke is a certain superintendent, right? Next one is these principles focus on effective workplace, organizing starting from physical environment and gradually to the functional aspects. ఏం చెప్తున్నారు? The principles would focus on effective workplace organization starting from the physical environment and gradually to the functional aspects, which are influenced to 5S simplifies your work transport, work environment, reduces the waste and non-valuable activities. So what does it do? It reduces the waste. The 5S principles reduce the waste and non-value activities while performing the real-time quality efficiency work. So whenever you are doing the real-time and the cycle fittings, whatever it is, so if you are not categorizing the value and non-value, it will automatically get to the background process. The 5 key activities of the total quality management and describe basic philosophy of Kaizen is here. These are the 5 parts of your ma, right? These are the 5 parts of your 5 S of your principles. So under this one, the first S is sorting. Sorting and ఏంటి? Sorting means వెతకడం. Means sort. For example, if you go to your phone, go in the settings and gallery, and you can see in the settings option SORT. Sort means just it is having plus or minus checking. Next, second one is set in order. So once it has been ordered, and we have to go for checking and setting. Third one is shining. So this will be everyday time option where used for cleaning of books, cleaning of shelves, cleaning of indoors and outdoors. Fourth one is standardizing process. Process means these are also the parts which should be very highly standardized. So these are the 4S principles of materials management, right? Next, sort. So under this sort, so what is the main thing to find out? So clearly distinguish head arrow machine. So in this sort condition, the sort option, clearly we have to distinguish the needed items from unneeded and eliminate the latter. So in the sort option, what we are thinking means you have to clearly distinguish. Clearly మనము separate చేసుకోవాలి. Which are very needy, which are very rarely went out. So at this point of time, you have to maintain only small things which should be needed and not needed. Next one is straighten. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఇస్ స్ట్రైటన్. కీప్ నీడెడ్ ఐటమ్స్, అవసరమైన మెటీరియల్స్ మాత్రమే మీ దగ్గర పెట్టుకోండి. ఇన్ ఎ కరెక్ట్ ప్లేస్, మేకింగ్ ఇన్ ఎ కరెక్ట్ ప్లేస్ టు అలో ఫర్ ఈజీ అండ్ ఇమీడియట్ రిమూవల్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ items in a correct place and allow to for easy and immediate retrieval. So once you are placing in a good place and later it should be removal also. That is a simple straightening process. Next one is shine. Next one is a shine. So keep the workplace neat and tidy, neat and clean. So whatever the workplace you are working, it should be very clean and shine so that the workers will get fine. Next one is a standardize. What is the meaning of standardize here? The method by which a sort, strength, straighten and shine are made habitual. So ఏదైతే అలవాటు అయిపోతుందో sort, straightening and shining all together known as making a standardize option. Next one, all this together will form as a sustain. So what is the meaning of sustain here? Sustain means Right. So sustain means maintaining established procedures. So whatever the procedures you have maintained for the improvement or growth of any organization, it should be done very carefully and should be implemented. So these are the some of the topics that is to be discussed about the 5S concept. Now we'll see in detail what are these 5S concepts at workplaces. First thing we are discussing is Seiri. Japanese word is Seiri. Sort. First one is a S1. What is the meaning of sort here? Remove unused items from your venue of your work and reduce it later. Right? So the Seiri. Seiri is nothing but a sort. Removal unused items from your value of work and reducing the clutter. సో ఏదైతే మీకు వర్క్ ప్లేస్లో సంబంధం లేని ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ అన్యూజ్డ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఉన్నాయో that things if you are eliminating or removing automatically you can go for the next process is sorting process, right? Increasing the venue of the work and reduces the scrap. So what does the sort process will do? So here if you see the sort unwanted items, store it and remove it. Next, red tag and tagging. So whatever the items you are disposing, semi disposing or storing, you have to maintain some color code and you have to get tagged. Next, from indoor to outdoor you have to maintain these tags. Next, decision making and leadership. Once the process or once the work is done, we have to go for the decision making and leadership authority. Next, initiation of reduce, reuse, and recycle concept. Okay, reduce, reuse, recycle concept with S step 5, step 35. Now see the examples of here. See the examples here. Here, instead of sorting out and separating, so all together they dumped on a open place and they have been without rolling or anything. It has been broken. So see the waste how it is processing, how it is living. So discarding unnecessary items is shown like this. It may be any discarded item. Next, a site for dumping disposals before sort. So whatever the sludge or whatever the items it is coming, so what you have to do? You have to go for dumping deposits before sort or set. Okay, so a site for dumping disposable before sort. Next, a still or a site from drunken factory. Right. Next one is discarding the unnecessary item. Next one is a site for dumping disposable before sort. Next one is a site for dumping disposable in the process of improvement. So ఇది stage 1 అనుకున్నప్పుడు, ఇది stage 2 అనుకున్నప్పుడు, ఇది stage 3. Finally, you have to maintain good environment for all this process. Next one is a set. What is the meaning of set here? Sites in a Japanese we are calling it as seitan. Set means organizing everything accordingly needed to the proper order for easy operation. So what does it do? Organize everything needed in proper order for easy operation. We are doing set. So if you see the set examples, see here, and dining table. So if you see how to sort, how to set, so the items are at one point, right? This is on the left or right corner. This side you are having some places. This side you are giving some wet surface. So this will be your sit out. So like this you can have a sorting and setting of the machinery equipment or at house. So this is one way of sitting, this is other way of sitting, this is other way of sitting. Your drawer is also should be sorted out and should be maintained. Whatever the drawers you are maintaining should be very clean and hygiene and should be sortable. Next, drug storage at pharmacy. See the example here of setting how the drug storage, how the drugs are arranged accordingly. Next, common use drug at wards to kept with labeling. So these are also one style of setting and writing the names on the labels and stickering them. These are some of the examples of Satan. So see here other examples, unfiling. So improper filing and proper filing. Student ఎంత నీట్గా ఎంత సింపుల్గా ఉందో. Proper filing, improper filing. Medical records, how they are stored. Now see the stationery, how the pens are arranged, how the screwdrivers, washers are arranged and stick it to the right. So with this we'll stop the class. We'll discuss this one tomorrow, right? So I have the other class, BTech class. So we'll stop here. We'll discuss the class on tomorrow. So have a nice day. Have a good day. Bye. Next.